Hello. So in this video, we are recapping the factor theorem and remainder theorem stuff from first year. So it says here, factorize this cubic equation, or this polynomial. So the first thing to do, because they haven't given us any clues, is we need to find out a factor first of all. Without having one factor, we can't kind of start factorizing it. So to find a first factor, we're going to use the factor theorem. So basically, you just kind of start guessing random numbers. You plug in random numbers, like 1, -1, 2, -2, until you find something that makes the whole expression 0. And then from that, you can figure out one of the factors. So for example, if we plug in 1, we do 1 cubed plus 4 times 1 squared minus 11 times 1 minus 30. And that doesn't equal 0. So that's not helpful. Then we do the same thing for -1. Plug in -1 to all the x's. That also doesn't equal 0. So that's not helpful. Then we could plug in 2. That also isn't 0. So that's not helpful. And finally, you plug in -2. And that one is 0. So you kind of just got to keep on going until you find one. I normally do it in this order. I find often it's 1 or -1. You won't very often have to go up to like bigger numbers than this. So if -2 makes this whole thing 0, then we know that a factor is x plus 2. Because remember, if this is a factor, then the solution that you get from this factor would be x being -2. So this here is a factor. Yeah, so this one is a factor. Cool, so that's done. We've got one factor now. And then step 2 is that you need to find other factors, or the other factor, using remainder theorem. So you take your entire cubic that you were given, and the aim is to divide all of this by x plus 2. So this is sometimes called remainder theorem because you end up, well, you see if you end up with a remainder, you see what it is. Although if this is a factor, you shouldn't end up with any remainder. Sometimes you also call it algebraic division because you're dividing something by algebra. So to do this, we first of all start with the x cubed divided by x, which is x squared. So I pop an x squared up here. It's not very neat, x squared, so x squared up here. Then we multiply the x squared by this. So x squared times x gives me x cubed. X squared times 2 gives me 2x squared. Then I subtract this bit that I've just written from this bit here. So x cubed minus x cubed is 0. And then 4x squared minus 2x squared, this gives me 2x squared. And then I bring down minus 11x. All right, so now we basically just rinse and repeat again and again. So I do the 2x squared this time, divided by the x, which just gives me 2x. And I multiply the 2x by this, so I get 2x squared plus 4x. And again, draw a line under here and subtract. 2x squared minus 2x squared is nothing. Minus 11x, take away 4x, will give me minus 15x. And then I bring down the minus 30. And again, repeat the whole thing over. So minus 15x divided by x is minus 15. Minus 15 times x is minus 15x. And times 2 gives me minus 30. And I subtract and subtract, but those would both cancel out to give me 0. And if you get 0, that kind of tells you that you've done it right, because we knew that x plus 2 was a factor. That was the whole point. So we weren't expecting to get any remainder. Yeah, we should have got 0 at the end. But the important point is this bit up here, because we know that we can now express our cubic as x plus 2 times x squared plus 2x minus 15. Yeah, these two multiplied together would give us this bit here in purple. Okay, so then the very last thing we have to do is just factorize this quadratic. So to factorize everything as much as we can, we keep this, and then we split this up into two brackets. So I need two things that multiply to make minus 15, like 5 and 3, and add to make positive 2x. So I'm going to get plus 5 and minus 3. And that's it. That there is a fully factorized form of this thing here that we're looking for. So hope all of that made sense. If you're not quite sure on any of this, then it's probably worth going back to the first year stuff and recapping this chapter. But if there's any specific question, let us know down in the FAQ. And we'll see you next video. Thanks.